Good.
Thank you. I picked my topic was a turning point. I think it's like option 2, I think, something like that. But I'm Devin Fleming. I will be talking about a turning point in my life to where I was at a low place with myself, and then, coming to a realization with like reality in life, and now I am at the top, and now I'm hoping to just keep going until the rest of my life. So about that, so this turning point started during the end of my senior year in high school, and so I was just after football season, so like January until May to when I graduated. I was isolated. Friends started being fake. People started not to have my best interests, and so like I was just alone. And so like after like every class or even lunch, I would just go to my next classroom and just do homework and have my beats in, and people would be like, oh, like we at school today, this and that. I'm like, yeah, I was there, and I don't see you anymore. And it's just like, I'm kind of like alone, and I like that. I wanted to be isolated because I really didn't have time for people, and I really wanted to like graduate and get out of it. And so like all that happened, and so then like moving on to like summer, so like after May, I was partying with some close boys that are still close to me now, doing the most, I'll get vulnerable, doing drugs, messing around, hanging around, just being, a crazy guy, I guess, if you want to call it. I had a girlfriend at that time. Weren't really official, no title, so I kind of used that to my advantage, and would just go around and then just, have fun and do all these things and leave her at home and worrying or whatever, just kind of not treating her as I should. So my turning point was 3 months later or 4 months later, so like this past November, it's almost supposed to be a year again. My mom came into my room and was just like, hey, get up, we're going to church. And I was just like, this is like afternoon, so like, I don't like getting up in the morning, so like, I was already like, all right, let's go, you know what I mean, because I'm already, have my sleep in. So I was like, all right, whatever. And so I went, and when I'm going to this church, I'm just like, whatever. Like growing up in church, I really didn't like church. I was so stubborn to my heart. I didn't pay attention to anything the pastor is saying, and it didn't really relate to me. So now, as in this past November, going in, me and my mom had like problems, and so like going into church, there's this like after worship is over, there's it's like this family time, so like we all hug each other and just like meet each other and greet each other and just show somebody love, because they really endure family time there. So me and my mom were sitting next to each other in the back, and after that like we hugged it out, and then like all our problems just like it just dissolved, and normally that doesn't really happen with us. And for me to say that, so like it was just kind of weird. It was just kind of like crazy. And after that day, like I just told myself, being there at that church, I just felt something that I've never felt in my life. Like after experiencing things I was experiencing and doing things I was doing, I really didn't experience what I experienced at church. And so like I just felt like the love of God, and I was just like, I told myself like, I want to experience this and feel this for the rest of my life. And so after that day, 2 weeks later, I told my mom, like, I want to give my life to Jesus. And she was like, but you always been a Christian growing up. Like, no, I really haven't. Like, it's the difference between believing in something than following something. And so like I was believing in Jesus and God, but I wasn't really following how I was supposed to live. And so like I told her that, and she's like, wow, that's amazing, blah, blah. And that following Sunday, my pastor prayed over me, and after that, it was just like game over. Like I went from, doing this to my girlfriend, literally like my ex, like to a point where like when I experienced this church time, when I experienced this love, I came back to her and was like, hey, like I'm sorry for everything, just apologize, just poured my whole heart out to her, just telling her like, what I did to you, it wasn't me, like I didn't know who I was. I'm still trying to find out who I was, and so like everything that I did. I just want your forgiveness, because what I did to you, no woman should ever go through that. No man should ever treat a woman like that way. So I told her that, and she ended up coming to church with me. And so like, I got like pretty much all my friends to get saved, and they just experienced something they never experienced in their life before too. So it was, for me, it was just like, I came from trying to like join gangs and love violence because my cousins are like that, and to cursing up a storm, to being disrespectful, going to parties and just trying to fight all the time, just literally causing drama and putting my friends in hurtful places, because I would cause so much attention to myself that my friends are with me, and the cops would come, they could have went to jail, they could have been this, for the drugs that they had on them, for me just being a loudmouth, we all could have been in jail for years for the stuff that we had. And so like, it was a big turnaround for me to apologize and tell them this and that, but right now I feel like that was my turning point in life, to realize that all that stuff is childish. Like, it really doesn't mean nothing to me or life. All that is temporal, and I know you guys don't want temporal things in your life. You guys want everlasting things, and you guys deserve it. So we're all worthy of all that. But I had to think about that. Like, all that was just childish, and it was immature, because putting your friends in danger or just putting yourself in danger isn't what you want. It's selfish. And so that was my turning point, was just giving my life to Jesus, and I love it, and I'm never bored of it. So, and I do not like religion. I don't like religion because it just separates everybody up, and it makes people fight with each other. And I just follow Jesus. I really don't care what you are, whether if you're Hindu, Buddhism, if you're gay. I just love everybody, and I want everybody to experience what I felt, because who I was before, you wouldn't even imagine who I am now. So